A botched faith healing bestows supernatural shaman powers on a bullied teenager. When his lifelong tormentors pull a prank that kills someone he loves, he uses his powers for revenge and goes on a bloody rampage to settle the score. Welcome back to your channel, home of movies. Today we will recap a horror and thrilling movie called The Unhealer. Watch out and take care. Our movie begins with Kelly, a young man in school who likes his classmate Dominic, and she is the only one who talks to him well. Although the whole school bullied him, especially Nielsen and his friends, they like to beat him and putting him in the trash, then filming him to spread the video in the whole school. Kelly gets tired because he has a strange disease, which makes him like to eat strange things such as paper, plastic, and anything other than normal food. His mother tries to treat him in any way. Then she brings a doctor to the home because he is tired and unable to move, but the doctor fails to treat him and advises them to go to a psychiatrist who can treat Kelly's disease the next day. His mother goes to the supermarket and she finds a person named Flogger claiming that he has the ability to treat people, and says that God gave him this gift to share it with any patient and help him in treatment. 60-year-old women who have a problem with her knee come forward, and after she donates money to Flogger, he puts his hand on her knees and treats it and makes the woman able to walk on her feet again without the crutch. Meanwhile, Kelly's mother goes to him and tells him about her son. He agrees to go with her to the house, and she goes to bring her car while he is waiting. A man called Riddick comes to him and orders him to leave the medicine which he is taking. The medicine which he stole from the grave of his ancestors, but Flogger tells him that he will never leave the medicine because it makes him feel strong. Riddick becomes frenzy and slaps Flogger in his face. Surprisingly, the one who feels the pain is Riddick, although he is the one who slapped. Flogger tells him that the medicine protects himself and anyone tries to harm him is the one who gets hurt. But Riddick continues to warn him that this is wrong behavior, and the medicine can turn against him and destroy him. Kelly's mother comes and takes Flogger to her house, and he sees that Kelly's sleeping as a patient in front of him. Before he starts to treat him, he enters the bathroom and takes a large amount of the medicine in his pocket and goes out. Flogger puts his hand on Kelly to treat him, but he feels severe pain all over his body. Then the cigarette falls from Flogger's hand on Kelly's body, and he burns him. Flogger continues to feel the pain until he falls to the ground and dies. Kelly wakes up from his illness, but he feels much better. They call the police because of Flogger's death. After they take his body, the officer tells them that Flogger was a swindler and he was trying to deceive them. The officer wants to take Kelly to the hospital after his body is burned from the cigarette, and he is amazed because the burn is completely gone. On the second day, Kelly tries to fix his bike but gets injured in his hand, and his wound is quickly treated at the same moment. He goes to his mother to tell her what happened, but she didn't believe him at all, and she is happy because her son has improved and his health has become better, especially about the last time she saw him. He rides his bike and goes, but it stops working again, and he found Dominic, who looks happy for seeing him in good health. Meanwhile, he found his colleague Red would start hitting him because he was talking to Dominic, but Kelly remembered that he wouldn't get hurt. Then he provoked Red a lot to hit him. He keeps hitting Kelly, but Red is the one who was injured and his face was bleeding a lot. And he tells Kelly that he is a monster and runs away from him after he finishes his school day. He returns to his mother to tell her what happened, but finds his school coach knocking on the door of their house because does not understand what happened to his son Red, and he is sure that Kelly can't beat his son because his son is much stronger than Kelly, but Kelly tells him that he didn't approach or touch him after. She knows that Red's father knows that his son bullies Kelly. The mother begins to defend her son, and she closes the door. He tries to explain what happened, so he asks his mother to pinch his arm, but she who feels hurt, and he tries to put his hand on the lighter but doesn't feel any pain. She tells him to not telling anyone about the strength he has, and it is a secret between them. He goes to school on the second day, and one of the students tries to bully and beat him, but he feels that he is the one who gets hit from behind him at the end of the day. He attends the school party, but Nielsen and his friends harassing Dominic and he defending her. but the coach keeps them away from each other to prevent any problems or quarrels from happening after the party. Everyone goes their home. Nielsen rides a car with his friend Brad and sees Kelly riding his bike on the road next to them. They decide to harass and intimidate him. Then Brad accelerates more and drops Kelly's bike, knocks him down and walks on him by the car. But who died is Brad, not Kelly. They thought that Kelly will kill them, so they run away. Dominic and her friend came to check on Kelly, and they reported to the police meanwhile. The police came and began investigating Brad's friends, but they said that it was Kelly's fault, because he was in the center of the street, so Brad made an accident with the car. His mother tells him to invent any story so that the police don't know the superpower he has. All this happens in front of Dominic, and now she knows that Kelly is not affected by anything the next day. Kelly meets Dominic and they talking about his superpower. On the other side, Brad's friends want revenge for what Kelly did to Brad, and they decided to destroy the place where he lives with his mother. After she goes to work, when Kelly arrived home, he found that his mother was tired and unable to go out to buy medicine. So he takes her car to buy medicine from the pharmacy. When Kelly go out, Nielsen and his friends thought that his mother who left the house. They tied the house truck in their car, and they start to pull it. The house was destroyed and the stove broke. So the gas tube is removed from it, and the place explodes because he doesn't affect by the fire. Kelly tries to save his mother, but unfortunately, his mother died because of Nielsen and his friends. The police come and took Kelly to the hospital to check him if he injured. Riddick comes to the hospital and tells the policeman that Kelly owns something for his grandparents, and it is medicine, but the policeman refuses to hear any talk about Kelly after the accident he was exposed to. Kelly's mother's funeral takes place, and Kelly goes to Flogger's grave and eats the grass that is on his grave, but he gets very tired. Then the policeman arrives to move him to his new place and asks Kelly if there was a strong earthquake happened to them, or someone tried to move the truck from its place, because the investigations explained that the rocks on which the truck was resting was pulled and caused the explosion. Nielsen and his friends in the car are next to him, harassing and insulting him. Kelly forced the officer to stop the car by throwing himself from the car. Then he decided to take revenge on them. Eventually, he got to the lake where Nielsen and his friends are. He begins eating the t-shirt of one of them, so he can control on him, because his power makes him control others. If he has something special to the person who wants to harm him, like his clothes, he starts to hang himself with the t-shirt which he finds, and the boy found it difficult to breathe while he was in the lake. Then he drowned and died, and before Kelly continues to kill the others, the policeman arrives looking for Kelly because he escaped from his car before Kelly escaped from the place. He says to Nielsen that he will be the next. The forensic pathologist came and took the body and began investigating the incident, but they realized that he drowned in the water no more. On the second day, Nielsen and Tony are in the school lab, and Kelly enters the lab to provoke them and let them beat him. Tony throws materials chemical on his face and Kelly's face burns. But it heals quickly and Tony's face begins to burn and falls to the ground. Kelly begins to direct his speech to Nielsen about what happened to his mother and asked him to admit that he was the cause of the accident. Then the policeman entered the lab and tries to save Tony from death, and Kelly runs away and hides in his house. On the second day, Nielsen comes and wants to train the school with their coach father, but the policeman is worried about the boys and afraid of Kelly's reaction. But his father decides to train him no matter what happens. Meanwhile, Kelly manages to get their clothes and eat a piece of Nielsen's clothes so that he can torture him and make him confess to killing his mother. And he finds a drill machine, so he takes it with him and stands in front of them. Kelly starts torturing Nielsen by inserting the drill into his foot, so Nielsen is the one who feels pain, because Kelly ate part of his clothes, until the coach decides to take the pistol from the policeman and kills Kelly with it in order to save his son from the torment. As soon as he shoots Kelly's head, the coach dies because he tried to harm Kelly, and Nielsen dies because Kelly ate part of his clothes. All this happened in front of Dominic. She cries for him, and she told him that the power harms more than helps him. She convinces him to get rid of this power with the help of Riddick and the policeman. They meet at the Flogger grave and Riddick starts the preparations. But Kelly feels convulsive. Dominic sees that Kelly will die because of what is happening. and Riddick says to her to run away after he screams. But before they escape, a policeman fires at them. Kelly and Dominic fall to Flugger's grave, and he finds that his girlfriend died, and he was the reason for her death. Then he decides to kill himself and eats Flugger's heart in his grave, until Kelly feels torment and died, next to his girlfriend Dominic.
You go back there?
No.